Hey guys, welcome. I'm Spencer and this is Sketch a Day, where every day I give you something new and interesting, hopefully insightful, about seeing the world around you and how to draw it. And based on the video I did about how to draw a printer, I thought a little bit of useful information for you guys would be a little discussion around how to draw transitional surfaces, specifically in this case a fillet. Now a fillet is what you might call a rounded corner, same thing. And particularly useful if you're a product designer to know how to approach sketching those and understanding the mechanics of it. So let's get right into it. Now I have here a box that I sketched beforehand, but what I'd like to talk about is this corner. So if I draw an arrow here, an arrow here, right where the surface changes direction, let's have a little chat about that. So in side view or profile, this box might look something like so. And at a glance, if I were to round this corner, okay, I might draw a curve like that or a curve like that. Okay, and that's a round. Well, really, if you think about it, what are you drawing when you draw a round? Well, this is a line that's tangent to the edges, or a curve rather, is tangent to the edges of my box. And if I extend right from tangency vertically and horizontally, I get a center or a point where these two radii are equal. So, in other words, what I'm actually drawing is the quarter of a circle. Now, take a look at my previous videos. I cover ellipses, which are circles in perspective, and hopefully that'll help you with this next step. So if I were wanting to round this box or cube, really what I'm trying to draw is a box on this face and a box on this face, okay? And in these boxes I would have two ellipses. So here's one ellipse and here's two ellipses. And so really all I care about, much like in profile view, is just a quarter of that circular shape. And so one thing I like to do on my transitional surfaces is I like to actually draw very faint lines on those points of tangency. So now if I get something like a Sharpie to punch this so you can actually see. Okay, so there's the start of our plane, and I can trace that in right there, down and over, like so. Now I have two surfaces with a transition, okay? So surface one going this direction, transitional surface curving like so, and our third surface like so. Well, why is this useful? Well, if you're going to be doing some quick sketches, it's useful to understand, for example, how these things work, right, in perspective. So I know, for example, that this round is approximately a quarter of this circle, okay? That would be in perspective, or this ellipse. So in my mind, I can do that math, I can do that geometry, and figure out exactly what I need as I'm sketching. Well, that's one case of where you would need a fillet. Let's talk about another case where I need a fillet. So what if I have a plane, like so, and I have a cylinder, like so, intersecting this plane, okay? And I want to transition those, or fillet, or round those, okay? Now we did a fillet before on the outside. Well, this fillet's going to be on the inside. So what I need to do is find the center, okay, of the bottom of this cylinder. And I'm going to draw another ellipse that is offset, okay, from that ellipse. Because in side view, this setup looks something like this. And if I were just to draw a round here, what I'm actually saying is that I've got a circle like so that's almost wrapping around, okay? And we're taking just the inside of that circle. So this is essentially the path of geometry, okay, that is revolved all the way around. Well, we need to also find or illustrate, for example, the top of the end of this transition, which happens to be right here. And also the bottom of that transition, which happens to be right there. Now again, in 3D, that's going to be a circle or ellipse. So all I need to do is draw a very light ellipse on top. And so now what I'm going to do is from that point down to the center right there, draw a line like so. Okay, and then I can, well, let's use our Sharpie again. Like so. Looks like I got a little bit of a smudge. And let's finish off this cylinder and outline the plane. Okay, so there's my transitional surface. Okay, because remember, essentially it's like, think of it like a bunch of ellipses that are transitioning around, okay? All the way around. And that's what you're gonna get for that transition. Which leads me to another illustration, which is how do you draw a donut in perspective? And why do I even care? Well, a torus or a donut is actually some geometry that you see quite a bit in product design or even the products around you. And what it is, so if you think about a donut, life preserver, something that is a circle offset with another circle, and I were to take this, right, if I cut through any point on this, that cross section is going to look like a circle. So essentially I have a circle traveling around a central point in a circular path. So if I draw that circular path in perspective, figure out the center right there, okay, and at any point we're to draw an ellipse. So if I'm looking at this in perspective right here at this point, this is going to be a circle, this is going to be a circle, and as I move around, I'm going to be getting elliptical shapes. This one's actually going to be a line, but let's say a little bit off here, a little bit off here. Get a, let's see, it'll be this way, get an ellipse like that, we'll get an ellipse like that, for example, straight line, one like so, and one like so, okay? And if I were to connect all these tangentially, okay, I end up with a donut. Now, what if I take this and I start rotating it a little bit? Well, what's gonna happen is what's called the Torus principle. So I'm just gonna rough this in so you can see, but you're gonna kind of get this little, well, let's drop this a little bit here. You're gonna get some arrangement of lines similar to this, okay? To express this transition, okay, as this wraps over. Now this is a very rough sketch, but here's a clearer example. So if I were drawing a torus really quickly, or donut, it would look something like this, okay, as I draw it out. And the reason it looks like that is because as we describe lines when we draw, a line is really just the limit of what you can see in reality, because lines don't actually exist. So in our simple construct of drawing here, okay, this line just represents, you know, the limit of what you can see. So as this torus moves around, we're going to see the bottom part, okay, so it's like taking this initial sketch and tilting it. We'll see the bottom of the hole and the top of the hole, and that kind of wraps just a little bit around. So there's my really quick and dirty explanation of a few transitional surfaces. I'd love to do this with some chamfers and other interesting cases that I've come up against as I've drawn over the years. But hopefully this has been a good quick tip and something that you can apply in your sketches as you illustrate, draw, design products, or do whatever it is you're doing. Well, thanks for watching, and if you like what you see, please share this video. Also, become a subscriber by hitting the subscribe button right there if you're watching on YouTube. If not, you can find me at youtube.com/sketchaday.com. You can find me on Instagram at sketchaday.com as well. On facebook.com/sketchaday. You can send me messages, interact with the community there, or on Twitter at Daily Sketches. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on Sketchaday.